a new band of rebels arose who were determined to carry the fight to Jerusalem. The SICARII. To the SICARII, anyone who wasn't fighting the Romans was a collaborator and worthy of death.
Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God?
Thinkest thou not that Baal is a living God, right? So these dumbass Cushites again, they were stupid enough to believe that this fucking idol was a living God, right?
Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day?
They thought that he was eating this shit, right? Go ahead.
Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within.
Listen, let me tell you something. Read that again.
Then Daniel smiled and said,
What did Daniel do? He smiled, meaning he laughed. He's dumb motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with this dumb motherfucker? Right, go ahead. You see, but he winketh at the ignorance of you fucking heathen. How dumb can you be? Go ahead.
O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within.
This is but clay within. Right, go ahead.
And brass without.
That's right. So they took brass, they put clay, they took brass, and they created this idol, right? Go ahead.
And did never eat or drink anything.
He ain't never ate or drank anything. He doesn't have a mouth. He doesn't have a fucking digestive system. Okay? Go ahead.
So the king was wroth and called for his priest.
He got mad, man. And of course he's talking about my God, yo. Right? He called his priest, right? Go ahead. Fucking mad ass hammer priest.
And called for his priest and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die. If ye
he said, look, okay, Daniel just called me out. But who's eating the damn food, right? Go ahead. One of y'all motherfuckers is eating. All of y'all is eating. That's how they ate. It's a hustle.
That's right, that's right.
Just like you motherfuckers in the church. It's a hustle.
That's right.
Go ahead.
But if ye can certify me that Baal devoured them,
yeah, if you can't prove that Baal is himself eating it, read.
Then Daniel shall die.
That's right. So if you can prove it, I'm gonna kill Daniel as for disrespecting Baal. But Daniel is a smart motherfucker, so I think he knows what he's talking about. Right? Go ahead.
But if ye can But if ye can certify that Baal devoured them, then Daniel shall die, for ye have spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. Now
and Daniel said, cool, let's do it. That's how confident Daniel is in the spirit of YAHAWASHI. As you said it, let's do it. Let's prove that what you worship is bullshit. Go ahead.
Right. Now the priests of Baal.
Go ahead, read.
Now the priests of Baal were 70. Beside their wives and Daniel, and the king went with Daniel to the temple of Baal.
So they go into the temple, right? Go ahead.
So Baal's priest said, lo, we go out. But thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine, and shut the door fast, and seal it with thine own signet.
Right, go ahead.
And to morn, when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal hath eaten up all.
So they said, look, lock it down, right? Lock it down to prove that can't nobody come in here, right? Go ahead.
Right. It says, and tomorrow when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Baal hath eaten up all, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us.
Either we gonna die or Daniel gonna die. Just lock the place down, right? Go ahead.
It says, and they regarded it, for under the table they had made a privy entrance.
They had made a privy entrance. That's why they said, look, lock it down. Look, they got a trap door. They coming in the trap door, right? Go ahead.
Whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things.
That's how they did it, right? That's how they was getting their hustle on. Go ahead. That's how they was eating and feeding their families, right? Go ahead.
So when they were going forth.
Now realize that, see, we have a system in the scriptures. We don't have an idol and their sacrifices, but the priests are ensured they're living, right? The Lord look out for his priests. But y'all got a bullshit God and a bullshit system. So y'all got to say, look, this God, he requires all this. And really you just saying to sacrifice as much as sufficient for you to eat. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Liars and thieves. It says, all right, verse 14. So when they were gone forth, the king set meat before Baal. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those that strew throughout all the temple.
See, look, this is what they didn't know, right? Daniel is a detective. We see that in Bell and the Dragon, and we see that in the history of Susanna, right? Daniel actually functioning as a detective, very wise young brother. He was a young man too, right? So he said, look, before we seal it down, what the priests didn't know, because they had already jetted, we're gonna put ashes down. What are the ashes gonna do? They're gonna trap the fingerprints in the handprints, right? Go ahead. This is where the so-called white man gets his whole forensics and detective system from Daniel. Go ahead.
Right. So when they were gone forth to set the king's meat before Baal, now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those that strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone, they went out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning bedtime the king arose, and Daniel went with them. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, Yea, O king, they be whole.
Okay, the seals are whole, read.
And as soon as they had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all.
So look, the king thought, yeah, Baal, man, you're a great guy, right, read.
Then laughed Daniel.
Daniel laughed. Listen, Daniel it was in his right mind. He looked at you heathen, especially you fucking Cushites, like you're a bunch of idiots, man, okay? How stupid can you be? He laughed, right? You goddamn cab driver, go ahead.
Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in, and said, Behold.
He said, wait a minute, king. They opened the door, he said, wait, go ahead. I want you to mess up my crime scene, go ahead.
Behold, now the pavement and the mark where well those footsteps are these.
He said, look at this. Whose footsteps is this? This is Baal's footsteps? Read.
And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children.
Men, women, and children. So what do these priests of Baal do? They had a secret trap door in their temple, and they used to sneak in there and act like their God was eating things, but he's just an idol. He wasn't eating anything. Their families would come in and eat these things. Right, go ahead.
It says, and then the king was angry, and took the priests with their wives and children, who showed him the privy doors where they came in and consumed such things as were upon the table.
Daniel knew about the trap door. Go ahead.
Therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power.
That's right. And what is Daniel going to do with Baal? Right, go ahead.
Who destroyed him in his temple.
That's right. Now hold that. Go to give me Deuteronomy 75. You got that?
Yeah,
hold that. Go to hold Baal. We're gonna finish it, but go to Deuteronomy 75. Matter of fact, we don't even got to read the dragon part.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with
That's
fire.
right. This is what the Lord commands us to do. So this is what Daniel did when Baal was given over to his power. Keep going in. No, in Baal the dragon.
It says, Okay, it's a lot. It says, therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, whom destroyed him in his temple. And in that same place where was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worship. And the king said unto Daniel, will thou also...
That's enough on that. But basically the dragon was an actual living creature, and Daniel killed that motherfucker too. Okay, when you read on, right? But go ahead to that. We want to stay on on point with this idolatry, right? Go ahead.
This is 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose ye one bullock for yourselves, and dress it first. For ye are many, and call up the name of your gods, but put no fire under.
That's right. So he said, look. He said, get an altar ready and get an animal in order to sacrifice and prepare. This is what Elijah did. Elijah playing a game with these damn retarded idol worshippers, just as Daniel did. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it and called on the name of Baal from morning even unto noon.
Look, so from sunrise to midday, they calling on the name of Baal, right? Go ahead.
And saying, "Oh, Baal, hear us." But there was no voice, nor any that answered. And they leaped upon the altar which was made. And it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, "Cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey."
Hey, look.
Wow.
He said, look, maybe the nigga busy. He on a phone call, maybe. He's on the way, you know. So what Elijah's doing is scoffing because he realizes how fucking stupid you are for worshiping these idols. Go ahead.
Or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awakened.
Hey, maybe the nigga sleep. Who knows? I don't know. Right? After y'all been calling for about 6 hours. Right? Go ahead.
And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lances.
They fucking started cutting them. Go ahead.
Till the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied unto the time of the offering of evening sacrifice, and there was neither voice, nor any to answer, nor any that regarded.
So they spent 12 hours calling unto this false god, right, Red?
That's it on that.
Okay, but yeah, exactly, and nothing ever happened, right? Matter of fact, yeah, that's it on that. So that's the stupidity of worshiping these idols, right? But that's for the heathen to do. Let them do. Let the Ethiopian worship Baal all he want. I don't give a damn. Okay? But as soon as you blacks, you Hispanics, and you Native Americans begin to do it, this is when the problem arises. This is when there's an issue. Okay? Because we ain't got no business worshiping these idols. We worshiping the one true only living God, right? YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. There is no image. There is no idol that consumes him. Now, matter of fact, give me Go ahead, get this precept.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, and the works of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor eat nor smell. But if from this thou shalt seek the Lord thy power, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, either in the latter days, if thou return to the Lord thy power, and thou shalt be obedient unto his voice, for the Lord thy power is merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swore unto thee. So like the brother just said, man, we have no business worshiping the idols and the gods of the heathen nations. That's for the heathens to do, man. And when the Lord scattered us, amongst these heathen, that's what we started to do. So we have to turn back, man, and start following the Lord, so he doesn't forget us or forsake the covenant that he made with our forefathers.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
That's right.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Hey, so, we're not supposed to be learning the ways of these heathen like the brother said, man, you know? You got a lot of unique Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who love to go whoring after the heathen, man, and following the ways and customs of these other nations. Okay, when we got our heritage right here in the Bible, we got our ways and customs right here in the Bible. But y'all want to get indoctrinated, especially these niggas with this Islam. Niggas want to be Kemetic. You know, these spics want to be Catholics, even Christians, you know, or so-called Christians. But they don't want to come back to their nationality and identity, which is in the Holy Bible, man.
Yeah, that's right.
The 1611 version, to be exact.
That's right. Where you at? Give me that Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 21.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world.
To deceive the world, the creation of idols like Caesar Moshe read.
For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks.
To oppression, you ascribe unto stones and stocks what, Red?
The incommunicable name.
Right, you take a stone or a stock and treat it as if it's the Most High. You even had our people at different periods of time actually build idols and call it Yahweh, call the name of Yahweh after idols. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a problem, man, okay? And that's a problem that our people have been having, because our people want to be like everybody else. When they came to Samuel, they said, look, we want a king, man. We want to be like the other nations. We want to have a king. And so Samuel was like, man, You know that's some bullshit. The Most High is your king. And the Most High not said, nah, Sam, don't worry about it. Right? They didn't reject you, they rejected me, right? So he gave them a king. And the first king being Saul, a wicked king, right? Then he gave us a real king, right? You see what I'm saying? But the fact is, the problem Israel has had, even though we're the former of all things, we have a problem trying to be like everybody else. That's the goddamn problem.
We're gonna bring out a precept about it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
You see this goddamn devil, man? He gotta make these loud ass things just to feel like a man. Because he's a fucking pussy.
But yeah, going into how I said they ascribe, you know, the incommunicable name to, you know, stones and stocks and wood, you know, things of that nature. Bring that out, bro.
This is Acts chapter 19, verse 11. And the Most High wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons. And the diseases departed from them, and evil spirits went out from them. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of the Lord YAHAWASHI, saying, We adjure you by YAHAWASHI, whom Paul preached. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, YAHAWASHI I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of the house naked and wounded.
So here's these Jews, man, that tried to use the Lord's name and try to, you know, cast off a demon off, you know, out of this place. But the demon ended up hopping on them, man. So just because you know the Lord's name, or just because you put the Lord's name on something and you're trying to make it something holy and divine, you know, that's where the Lord's power does not work for you. All right? This is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What you about to say?
Well, I was gonna say, even like this picture we got right here, right? We said it's an accurate image of Jesus Christ, or you know, YAHAWASHI. That's not YAHAWASHI right there.
Right.
Okay?